This year's heat has been unlike anything the locals can remember. The high temperatures leave us exhausted, our plants desperately need watering every single day, and our pond seems to shrink a little more with each passing day. The forecast offers no sign of rain, and we're finding ourselves hoping for anything below 32 degrees Celsius. And combined with the humidity, the heat has made even breathing feel heavy at times. But despite it all, the work doesn't stop. It might be slower and there's definitely a lot more sweat involved, but this homestead won't build itself. So come along for a hot, dusty, and very sweaty chapter of this journey. Our pond has become noticeably smaller over the past few months. The previous owners lived here for 7 generations, and last year was the first time they had ever seen it dried up completely. Unfortunately, it's looking like it might happen again this year. We have some big plans for this pond in the future, but for now, we're doing what we can. One of the first jobs is clearing out all the weeds that have taken over, helping reduce unnecessary water loss and giving the pond its best chance of making it through the summer. But working for too long in the scorching sun just isn't an option right now. So for the time being, we're focusing on the projects we can do in the shade. One of them is giving an old table we inherited with the house a second life.
So now I finished knocking off all the tile glue. It's time to sand these side lists. And I think I'm gonna glue them on and nail them in place, and then just lay new tiles and put grout between once it's all put together. The legs I've just added some, they were quite wobbly, but now they're firm. I've put some screws just all the way through into the legs just to add a little more stability. And yeah, let's continue making this old table look nice. Alright, all the edges are now sanded and fastened, so glued and nailed in place. I put the masking tape on, so now it's just to glue 6 tiles that are 20 by 20 centimeters and then put grout between once they dry. Put them all how I want them, got everything ready, just gonna put it together, glue it down.
An old table and some leftover tiles came together to create a brand new table that fits our space perfectly. As the days passed, we finally got a small window of cooler temperatures, giving us the chance to continue working on our garden gate. Once the concrete had completely cured, it was time for the next step: covering the posts with soil, leveling everything with the surrounding ground, and finally building the gate doors.
So that's the half of the gate almost set up. I'm pretty sure it's way too heavy and the hinges are way too weak. I'm just waiting for some little shims on this side so I can finish bolting it up. And then we'll probably be able to watch it sag down to the ground together. Since this one is so crooked, the bottom hinge here has to be quite far away to be level, so yeah, not gonna work very well, but we'll see. Maybe I can figure out some way to fix it afterwards. Pretty sure it's gonna fail, but let's try. That's terrible than I thought. I'm amazed. I was so sure it would just
pleasantly surprised.
fold. Yeah. Especially since it's like 70 kilos hanging. That means I have to do the other one.
Oh man.
Alright. Second one on. This one is so much more securely put in. I have no doubt it will work. Very cool. All the little stuff left. Put the net on the doors, between the poles, and then make a duck coop. And to open up. So it works nicely, and I get to I'm able to keep the net hole here, so no fox or rabbit is able to squeeze in between. Just have to fix the net to that last pole, and finally all done with this. Well, except for some latches and a base under the gate there. Make this little form to make a concrete block that I'm gonna put between the gates, and hopefully this will work like I think it's gonna work. Alright, so I'll bury this down a little bit, and it will be in between the gates, so each gate will rest on here. This stops it from opening into the wrong direction. And yeah, I think this will work just fine. If the gate starts sagging in the future, it should support it and stop it. But until then, yeah. So what's left to do is just to drill a hole in the concrete and have a pin that comes down from one of the gates, and then a little quick release latch to be able to close it. pretty sure we're quite ready for ducks now. Everything ready except for making a little house for them and finding some little pool for them to play in. But yeah, gate looks pretty cool. Happy with the outcome.
The gate is finally complete. The finishing touches and the decorative details will come later, but for now it's fully functional, bringing us one step closer to welcoming ducks and chickens onto the homestead. And then, just when we had almost given up hope, the rain finally arrived. It didn't last long, but it stayed just long enough to give our plants a proper watering and, hopefully, add a little more water back to the pond. This rain was exactly what we needed. Our plants finally got some much needed rain, and for the first time in weeks, we could simply enjoy being outside again. So we got a very bad heat wave last week. Everything did survive. Most of it. But there are several things that we need to do in the garden, even though it's still kind of warm at this very moment, even though the prediction says that it will be raining in the afternoon. So right now, I have to take care of the polytunnel because everything is so overgrown to the point that it's impossible to walk between the plants. There are several plants that have fallen on the ground, and I'm not entirely sure what has happened there because I haven't reached that point. But it looks like there's a lot of work definitely to do here. Thankfully, we have a lot of tomatoes and a lot of cucumbers, and well, many other vegetables that are ready. So we are thinking about going to the market next week. We'll see how that goes because it's something that we've never done before. It's gonna be we are really excited about it, but at the same time, when you don't really know how it's gonna go and like how to set up the table and like how to make it look appealing and nice, we don't really know. So it's a whole everything is so new to us. But we'll do our best and we'll see how that goes. For now, I'm just gonna start trellising or lowering probably those very tall tomatoes that have started reaching the ceiling. This is so heavy. Despite the heat, the plants in the polytunnel are doing surprisingly well, probably thanks to the shade net we keep over it to protect them from the scorching sun. What keeps us going through this heat is finally seeing all our hard work pay off. The vegetables are growing fast, and there's nothing more rewarding than harvesting fresh, fully organic food that's bursting with color and nutrients. But homestead life isn't only about work. Every now and then it's important to take a break and enjoy the little moments too. One of the highlights of this summer was finally seeing the Tour de France pass through our area. If there's one thing this journey has taught us, is that dreams aren't built in perfect conditions. They're built one step at a time, through every obstacle, every setback, and yes, even through the hottest days of summer. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. We truly appreciate every one of you, and we can't wait to see you in the next one.